So another way I do my heels is via concrete, but they do tell me it's bad because in concrete there's lime, and lime can have some effects on your body. However, I don't do this most of the time. I do it when I'm really not well, and all I have to do is sit here and scrape my heels. And as you can see, it does work. But the next step would be to go straight inside and soak down my feet, for the simple reason, the lime. So I've still got a little bit to do there. We'll do that now. Then I'll pop my slippers on. The toe, no toe, which is what I call, that's looking a lot better. And of course what I do too is I'll show you the cream I put on later on. I cream my feet. I will sometimes put bags on my feet and cover them with socks, and I sleep that way overnight. And by the morning time the cracks have practically all gone. So a bit more rain heading our way, so I hope to God it gives my plants a good water, because then my husband can't complain about the water bill. I mean, I hardly even use the water to plant the plants, but you know, anything to whinge. Problem is, see, never in the past has he paid all the bills. He has left me to pay majority of them, and that's why at one stage I was studying to upgrade my nursing skills. I had 2 jobs and just to pay the bills, and he stayed at home with Bubby. And of course I paid him a weekly wage of about $500 because his attitude was, I don't want to claim off Centrelink, there are other people out there worse off. Well, I'm telling you now, 2 jobs and uni studies, and they weren't online uni studies, they were studies that had to be done going to the university. So I don't know how I passed my exams, but I did. Proud of myself, deeply proud of myself. Alright, so going to stop with the toe no toe now because that's getting a little sore, and I don't have much feeling in my feet as it is, so if it's telling me it's sore, I'm going to listen to my body. You can see the actual concrete that you wear down, and also in that obviously are some skin cells. So I don't leave that here for people to walk over. I will wash that down later on. So just with a bucket of water and a broom, I get my son out and he'll help me. But I do like to do this because it does work really well. As you can see, not too well there. Maybe this shot will be better. So it does work. And when I see that there are other bits that I need to get, I just readjust my foot so that I can get those bits. And see how my foot is kangarooing it back. It's just the friction, that's all that is. Okay, we don't want to do too much because we don't want our feet to get sore, especially mine, because I do suffer from peripheral neuropathy, and that is from diabetes, high sugar levels. So I started taping before I could show you a before shot. So this is the before shot of the other foot. Up here I have a superficial wound on my toe. I had one of these on my other toe, which over a period of a year they couldn't fix, and that was because my diabetes was out of control. But it's good now, so this has healed. I do see the high risk foot clinic. However, the coronavirus has shut them all down for now, and they're using that facility as a COVID-19 what do you call it, like a centre you go to so that you can be tested for it. So this toe I need to be careful with. I obviously grow callus around this area, and that's because of the way I walk. So I do my best to try and walk properly. So we're going to try and get that callus down as well. So don't forget, doing this, folks, can have an adverse reaction to your feet if you don't go and shower them or soak them to get rid of all that lime, because your feet still do manage to soak up the lime. So you want to be able to soak it in a warm salt water bath or bath bomb it, anything like that. And in actual fact, I might jump in the bath this morning because I got some bath bombs for Christmas, which I'm very excited about. I've only used one, I think, or two. So, and I don't generally get in the bath because of my SPC, but I usually shower that off first and get all the gunk away and shower my nether regions, so all that's clean when I get in the bath. And I might even use a couple of bath bombs this time. And we'll just do that part where it's sore. Let's see how much more I have to do. Okay, and you can see that there's no more blood, so that's why it is superficial. But the way the high-risk foot clinic work is they scalpel all the callus off, and they scalpel around the wound so that it bleeds slightly, which means that's new growth, and new skin growth can come through to heal the wound. Fortunately, with diabetes, you can see a wound visually, but underneath that wound is a whole different story. So just going to persevere for a bit longer, and I do continually check and feel my feet, because when I'm doing this, they can actually get warm from the friction. So please do watch that. I don't recommend that anyone does this, to be honest with you, although I do believe there are probably millions of people that do this the same way. I do have a sandpaper foot thing specifically for this type of thing, but while I was out here this morning, my spirits pepped up a bit better. I thought, why not get some filing done? Which I'm doing now. So, and having a chat to you guys at the same time. The plants got a bit of a water yesterday, and we've both decided that this part here is now going to be a garden. I'm going to start cultivating some seeds that I've got that I sent away for. Unfortunately, he wants this tree in the front part of the garden, even though I've told him it overtakes everything. So I'll just have to manage it and pull out the extra shit where I have to, so that it doesn't take over at all. The last time I had to deal with this was when I was living in Yamba, and I pulled out the entire garden load of it, and holy shit, it took me weeks. And let me put it this way, I wasn't diagnosed with this condition by then at that stage. So filing, getting that bloody callus down off the side of my foot. See, it's worked quite well. So we'll leave that there. We'll work on this part of the foot now. I mean, it only takes a little bit because concrete is pretty coarse, and although it leaves a mark, that'll be gone with one wash. So, talking about watering plants, I need to get a watering tin. Once all this isolation is over and done with, I might make a trip to a few of the Salvation stores and St. Vinny stores. There's a name for it, but I just can't think of it offhand. Alright, so now I'm going to start on my heels. This foot is pretty good actually, and I have to watch it carefully because it is already pretty much down. But I do have big cracks, and that's because occasionally I don't wear these and I don't rub cream into them like I should twice a day. So what I will do tonight is I will pamper myself. After washing, I'll put some bags on my feet and I'll go to bed with them on. So I'll just take you down to that foot now, that heel. So there you go, but more needs to be done. See the cracks? Yeah, and you won't entirely get rid of all the cracks, unfortunately. The cracks will stay. It's the cream that is going to close those cracks up. And for diabetics, these cracks are portals for infection. So it's very important that we always care for our feet. You know, it's even important for the normal population, if I could say normal, but for anyone who doesn't have diabetes or any type of disease like diabetes, then it's always a good way to maintain your feet. Not this way, of course, but going to, you know, the foot care places where they bathe your foot, they take the hard skin off, they cut your nails, they take the cuticles off, they paint your nails. And to be honest, I will be treating myself to one of those when eventually we are all out of isolation and we're starting to jump back into society. But of course that's 6 months away. And for me, it's not really a big deal because I have lived inside my 4-bedroom walls for a very long time. A year at least. It has only been recently that I have been able to get out and about, see Sharon, see her grandkids, who she doesn't care for anymore. They were taken away from her and they're now with the other family. I'll go into that more another day. I really need to get permission off Sharon to tell you that story. So let's have a look at the heel now. So we do have some really big cracks here, but I won't be able to grind them right down. And that is because they're too close and too large. But as I said, what will fix that is the cream I put on. And I'll show you that cream later on. So after this, I will have one more smoke. I'll go and jump in the shower. I'll bring the hose around here and hose this all down with you. So I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in again. Don't forget to share, subscribe, like, and hit that notification button. And I will see you again very soon.